High Top Sports Network Steelers Podcast. You ask, why do you call it a Steelers Podcast when you guys bring one topic and talk about it for about 5 minutes? Because we have so many other things to talk about, and you want to stick around for our Steelers takes, of course. Joe Rhodes, Josh Reckengoss, Missy Elliott. Josh, you want to explain this one?
Well, it's called It's called The Rain.
Okay.
And it's a sample of the song I Can't Stand the Rain.
Is that a personal feeling?
And that is by Ann Peebles, classic song, I Can't Stand the Rain. Timbaland, the producer on The Rain, parentheses, Super Duper Fly by Missy Elliott, sampled the Ann Peebles song, I Can't Stand the Rain, and it goes with our theme of Roy Ayers, Everybody Loves the Sunshine. And then you got Eddie Rabbitt, I Love a Rainy Night.
Eddie Rabbitt.
And now Missy Elliott, The Rain, Super Duper Fly.
Big fan of Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
It's your affirmative I'm wearing yet.
Yeah, right? She actually explained what it's supposed to mean. And I'm blanking on it right now, but it's backwards.
I enjoy the fact that everybody has their own interpretation.
Yeah. She actually explained it recently.
It's like hieroglyphics.
Yeah. And everybody says it differently. That's the best part. Yeah. He's horrific, you know. There's no C's in there, but I just put one in.
Yeah. You do what you want. And when I say do what you want, that leads me into the next thing. We're going to do what we want here and close this with 3 questions to each other.
3?
Yeah, we're only going to do 3.
Oh, man. Seems like a lot. Thought we were doing 1.
No, how about 2?
Okay.
About 2 questions.
I guess.
That we've never asked each other. We know each other quite well. We're going to ask each other something that I think we've never asked each other. And we're going to keep it to about a minute-long answer. Josh, yes?
Yeah, I think I have a couple.
I'm going to give you a Steelers one since this is a Steelers podcast, and then one non-Steelers related. Josh, would you like to begin or would you like me to?
Well, this is the High Top Sports Network Steelers Podcast, AMA. Ask me anything, even though you guys aren't asking us. You feel free to in the comments. You can ask us anything. And then next podcast, we will use your questions. But for now,
keep them PG. I'm
going to AYA, ask you anything. And while we do that, let's get a little accompaniment.
Yes, please.
Here by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Bass. This is the classic Spanish Flea, and I think this is good. This is good music for
who's starting here?
An AYA. I'll ask you.
Get right into it. All right. Oh, man. Remember PG. We're trying to not.
Yes.
Listen, I wanted to get embarrassing enough, but not too bad.
Well, embarrassing is a good word. I
think the limits are just going to continue to grow.
Yeah, embarrassing is a good word because...
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to answer as honestly as I can. I would expect you to.
You were a heck of a basketball player in your day. Still a heck of a basketball player. What is your most embarrassing moment on the court? And it could be anywhere. It could be in a pickup game on the playground. It could be in a state playoff game. It could be in practice.
This is a true story. I believe it was this is really bad. Because I was actually decent. I was first team All-Indiana Gazette back in my day. All right. I scored on the wrong hoop during my senior year at Ligonier Valley. I think you could ask my head coach Steve Woodrow this. It was right after halftime.
Yep.
And I just took the ball and and everybody was kind of standing in half court.
Yep.
So I didn't really, my concept of direction was really thrown off by that. It was like a half court press right off the rip coming out of the break. And I just grabbed the ball and I'm like, ha-ha!
You beat that press.
Look at this. I have a breakaway. I'm going to dunk this too. And I just went in and laid it right in.
Man.
And I believe, I would like to go back and look at the score box for this, or the box score, excuse me. I'm pretty sure they added those 2 points to my ledger that night.
Even though Ligonier Valley got the points on the scoreboard,
you
got
gave me the points.
Wow.
Because they had to take it into account.
Yeah, they had to account.
So I guess the silver lining is I got some buckets for both teams that night.
That's right. You were both teams' best player.
Maybe. I don't want to say anything bad about Ligonier Valley. We're going to step away from that one. Josh, it's my turn.
Yep.
All right. So you asked a very docile one.
Oh,
I was going to go, give me some details on your worst date. Your worst date.
Oh, man. I got to wrap.
I've never asked you, what was your worst date? And, again, we got to keep it to,
man, we got an ad. It was supposed to be a 1-hour loop of the Spanish Flea.
It was.
I got to get an ad in the middle of it, and then we're back.
Your worst date, please.
Well, that was my worst musical choice right there, apparently. This was supposed to be a 1 hour
next
list.
Commercial comes.
Worst date. Well, let's see. I've had some first dates that never went anywhere after that. But I will say that one of my worst dates happened when I worked in New York. I worked in Manhattan for quite a few years.
It's a first date.
This was a first and only date.
Yeah, yeah. If it's this topic, it's probably going to be the lone date.
And, oh man, I really don't know how to put this gently. It was the dawn of internet dating, okay? And I was on a break from my then girlfriend. You know, breaks were big in the early 2000s. And I met this young lady. She was very beautiful, very, very good looking. And we went... Chef's kiss. And we went to a pub. And it so happened to be 2 for 1 well drinks that evening. And let's just say I had too many. And we were on the walk to our next establishment. And it didn't sit right with my stomach.
Oh.
So
you upchucked on the date.
I did it right in front of her, actually, in a garbage can.
Okay, so immediately following, just to get...
Oh, then she had to go. Oh. She was like, she
bounced immediately.
Yeah, we were on...
Not even, like, kind of concerned for your well-being?
No.
She was just like, I know he'll be okay. I'm getting out of here.
No, she was, I think, really just horrified and disgusted and was like, nope, this guy was really cool until we started walking. Because we were going to a new place, but we never made it. And so I would say that's probably my worst date.
I'll bring it back to you with that Steelers question, Josh. And not to make you do 2 in a row, even though that was a wonderful story. I never know.
Hell yeah.
And see, that's the point of these questions.
She married some Wall Street guy.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, she definitely upgraded.
I could care less.
She's like, this guy doesn't puke in garbage cans.
You know what? She bounced on you. You know, High Top ain't a fan of her.
That's right.
All right. My question. The worst Steelers loss that you experienced, that you felt?
That I was at?
No. You felt in general watching as the fan that you are, being the dedicated Steelers fan that you are.
Well, last year against the Browns was just horrible for so many reasons.
I knew you were going there, but was there a worse?
Yes, there is. And I will tell you. It's 2004 AFC Championship game. Just because, you know, we hadn't won a Super Bowl for a long time. And as I said in a previous segment of this podcast, you know, Jerome Bettis, before Troy, was my favorite Steeler of all time. And we got to that AFC Championship game at home against the Patriots, and it just felt like this was going to be the year. This was the year Cowher's going to bust through. We're going to get to this Super Bowl and win. And we obviously got smoked. And I just remember Hines Ward crying in his locker because nobody thought the bus was coming back for the next season. And I cried too. I was very, very upset by that loss, so that's definitely the worst one.
Might I answer that question on my own behalf quickly?
Sure.
It was the loss to the Packers in the Super Bowl because to me it was the end of the Ben dynasty. He's not going to win another Super Bowl. I'm sorry if I'm that guy, but I am. That was the end of it. That was the best chance we've had. And it was an ugly game. Ben with another bad Super Bowl, Mendenhall with that terrible fumble, which will live in infamy. And that one right there, especially since I was in college, actually watching that game with some Packers fans at the time, with another one of my ex-girlfriends, different than the ex-girlfriend I brought up on the last podcast.
You don't have good luck with football and girlfriends.
No, I do not. And again, I watch a lot of football games alone. So, Josh, I think, is there any more questions?
Yeah, I didn't get to ask my second because you asked yourself, but that's fine.
No.
I want to tell the folks out there who are listening, please feel free to comment on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you see this podcast. Give us an Ask Me Anything, and we will answer it on the next installment. Well, I mean...
We'll keep it as clean as possible.
You don't have to keep it PG.
I mean,
we'll make it PG.
We'll make it PG, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of stories here.
Oh, yeah. I think anyone that knows us personally out there who's listening knows that there's a lot of rich texture.
Texture indeed.
Texture.
And with that about wraps it up for my man Josh Reckengoss. Thank you, Josh.
Yes, sir.
You're wonderful. You're a beautiful human.
Beautiful human. Well, you called DeLuca that yesterday.
No, you have a wonderful demeanor. Thank you for that.
You didn't tell him that, so I appreciate that.
A glorious presence. Thank you.
Yeah, I had fun, man. Got the voice back a little bit today, and glad I could sit down with you. Had a great time. Especially liked being the DJ with the rain and sunshine theme.
Yes.
And the Spanish Flea.
Well, I appreciate you, and we appreciate you out there for listening. As Josh said, please like, comment, and interact with us here on YouTube. Let us know what you'd like to hear about us discuss, Steelers and otherwise, and we will do that. So until then, Josh Reckengoss, Joe Rhodes, we bid you adieu.
Peace.